a 40-minute episode. So let's get into it. Alright. No, there's no point in saying that yet. I might as well make another video later. Alright. Gotta get back into this. It's always annoying to get into this and like get into a reading rhythm. Well, some kind of rhythm. Hanako is more noticeable in her absence than when she is in the room. I feel her empty desk calling out for me. I find myself peering over my shoulder endlessly, hoping that I'm hallucinating and that Hanako will magically appear. She makes sure she's as small a presence as possible when she's attending class, and although she had been getting better recently, that fact never remains. Well, crap. Nobody ever pays her any heed in class, and now that she's not here, they don't notice her absence, as if she just never existed. Man, I am not starting too good. Lily did say that her skipping class wasn't an unusual thing before I met her, but it's still very off-putting. The bell heralding the end of school make me jump in my seat. It's only now that I notice Misha is prodding me in the side with her mechanical pencil to get my... whatever. Hello, is anybody there? Hey, stop that. Ah, there we are. Welcome back to Earth, Gem. What are you talking about? You keep on dazing off in this space. Oh, you keep dazing off in the space. I was beginning to think that you might be trying to contact alien life. I really didn't get much sleep last night, so I don't doubt Misha's words. I'm not sure whether it was due to my medication side effects, Hanako's panic attack yesterday, my worrying about her in general, or all three. I yawned tidily before resting my chin in my palm, having been reminded of how badly I slept. Are you really alright? Yesterday rattled me as well. Yeah, I guess. I wanted to speak to Hanako again, though. Did you see her last night? Yeah, Lily and I talked to her. This may sound a bit weird, but you can tell Shizune thank you from both me and Lily. I know Lily typically didn't thank Shizune, but I could tell by her reaction last night that she wanted to. At least, that's how it works out in my head. I think what Shichen is trying to say is you're welcome. The furious signing and Shizune's reddened cheeks told me that what she said was entirely different, but bluntly frustrated expression is amusing enough to make me chuckle. What's so funny, Hichan? Was it something we said? No, that's not it. I was simply thinking about how cute Shizune can be at times. You're right, I don't like saying it like that. Shichen is really cute when she tries not to be. I noticed that Misha decides not to sign her response to Shizune. Maybe Shizune's rage is enough to counter to any quantity of cute. Nevertheless, Shizune quickly calms down and signs something to Misha. Oh, okay. Shichen wants you to come and have dinner with us. Dinner? Turning away from them a bit, lest I be swayed by their pleading smiles, I begin to mull it over. The invitation certainly is tempting. A takeaway dinner with two cute girls is not a bad thing, after all. The thought of Hanako locked up in a room, though, keeps me dancing on the edge of my mind. Sorry, I'll have to pass. Misha doesn't sign my response, but Shizune picks up on it easily enough and grimaces in disappointment. She moves her arms, assumedly beginning some form of other protest or something, but stops herself and taps Misha's shoulder twice. Once Misha gives Shizune her attention, the only statement Shizune has on the matter is a shrug. Oh well, it's your choice to gem. I promise I'll join you two another time if that helps. Misha perks up at this, but Shizune doesn't share her reaction. With a flick of her hand to sign for Misha to follow her away, Shizune simply raises her hand to silently wave me goodbye. As the two make their way out of the door, I return to gesture until they're out of the sight. I didn't think they would be so disappointed, and it makes me feel a little bad for ditching them. Still, I have things to do. The girls' dormitory is especially rowdy today, with a number of girls loudly playing games and watching the television in the common room for the first floor. I can hear their voices even now, standing in front of Haneko's door. Damn it. Hold on. Need to check something. Yeah. Oh well. It's the odd contrast to the emptiness of the floor she's on. The voices from below make the emptiness feel all the more lonely. I had hoped Hanako would be in class today, especially after the talk Lily and I had with her last night, but I feel like I shouldn't hold it against her. It was a pretty awful episode, and to have experienced it firsthand must be all the worse. Not knowing what state she's in, I take a small breath before giving a few sharp knocks on her brown door. All I can do is stand and wait, doing my best not to feel anxious. As the seconds wear on, I begin to think she might be asleep and didn't hear me knocking. The door handle rattles a little before I can raise my hand to knock again, though. The door opens a sliver and an eye appearing in the gate, only just large enough for it to peer through. I'm sure the girl would install a peephole in her dormitory door if only such a thing was allowed. I just stand and smile at her. I don't think any words would really help here after all. The act is returned in kind, with Hanako wordlessly looking at me. The gap's not wide enough to see her expression, and I can only guess what she's thinking. Time passes as we look at each other, the only sound being the disembodied something from the ground floor. I'm not sure how long it takes, but eventually the eye moves away. I keep wondering whether she'll let me in or shut the door and shut me out until the door slowly begins to creak open. Now that I have a full view of her in her bedroom behind, the first thing I notice is that Haneko's hair is quite damp. She's recently showered, which is made even more obvious by the scent of shampoo wafting towards me. The look on her face seems one of curiosity, as if she's not really sure what to make of me. Even so, I'm not really all the same sure of what she's thinking. It feels as if she's gone away for a long time, and having now returned, neither of us knows what to say to the other. Hanako realizes she's staring, looking away awkwardly before turning to the side and gazing at her feet. I decide to take it as an invitation and step past her into the room, closing the door behind me as I do. I can see her hands fiddling in the folds of her oversized gown that hangs from her shoulders. I try to concentrate on what I want to say, but the scent from her addles my senses. To my surprise, it's not me, but Hanako that breaks the silence. Why? Because, why did I come here? I was worried about Hanako, so I came to her room. She let me in as I had hoped, and then what? What did I mean to do? What did I mean to say? Why didn't I think this through before coming here? I want to make up for what I feel I caused, at least partly. I want to try and remove the distance I feel between us since then, and I'm happy to see her happy. How can I do that when I don't know the first thing about her? I wonder if this is how Hanako felt when she saw me lying in that... No, wait, that's not right. I wonder if this is how Iwanako felt when she saw me lying in that sterile pastel blue hospital bed. A deep sigh steadies my nerves a little and ends up stammering. I don't think I've ever felt this nervous around anyone before. When I'm like this, I don't think I can lie. Even if I could bring it to myself, Hanako would see through it anyway. I don't know, I just wanted to see you, I guess. Her fingers stop moving, giving me a little surprise. Looking up to her face, she gives a sweet smile and nods. That was a satisfying answer for her? I probably should have said that differently. Since you're here, I'd like to play a game of chess with you. I almost hang my head in disbelief. That's all she wanted to do after I've been winding myself up so much is play a game. Looking at her face though, a tentative smile perched upon it, I realized that this is more than that. She could have not bothered answering the door. She could have shut it as soon as she saw my face. She could have asked me to leave. I think we all know where most of those sentences are going. I feel a relief washing over me. Everything will be alright. Huh? Hanako has let me into her world. As long as we can be together like this, I think everything will be alright. It would be my pleasure. The day of Hanako's birthday is finally here. To be honest, I'm looking forward to seeing Hanako and Lily in their pajamas again. Hanako's gown has grown on me as looking rather cute, though a bit conservative, and Lily's shorts and thin silk top are a very lovely combination. But the event is strained a little with the memory of Hanako's reaction to it. I still don't really understand what happened, only being able to vaguely guess at the possible reasons for it, but I don't think finding the answer will be as straightforward as asking her. With that in mind, I knock on the door next to Hanako's. Is that you, Hisao? Yeah, it's me. I can hear the pitter-patter of footsteps coming to the door, followed by the sound of the lock snapping open. I don't think I've ever seen Lily's door locked before, and it makes me a little suspicious. Once the door opens, the sight is a little underwhelming for a birthday party. Hanako returns to her seat at the table with a quick smile and a nod, leaving me to close and, assuming that they wanted to be kept that way, lock the door. As I do so, I realize that the scene before me is that of an evening tea party, just like any other between the two. Somehow I don't think I should be surprised. To my relief, Hanako looks relatively calm. The break from class has probably done her good, and given her time to wind down a bit. I take a seat between the two at the low table in the corner of Lily's room, and the brightly colored teapot streaming away between us. Steaming away. Damn. A tall brown bag close by Lily's side catches my attention. I covertly try to glance inside it a couple times, but can't get a good look from here. Looking to Hanako, it seems she's as curious about it as I am. Hey, Lily. Lily finishes off the teacup, raised to her lips, before setting it down and giving me her attention. Yes? I was just wondering about that brown bag. She pauses for a moment, then gives a slightly cheeky smile. That would be Akira's present. Unfortunately, she said she was working and can't join us. Lily leans over and feels at the item inside before raising her arm. I raise an eyebrow to the two items, not one raised from the bag. Not one. Two items, not one, raised from the bag. The glass necks are grasped by Lily, on the other hand, on either side of her middle finger, so this is why she had her door locked. Wine. There are two small thuds on the bottles, as the bottles are brought to rest on the table. One red, one white. I wanted to believe that it's fake, non-alcoholic wine, but if it was, there wouldn't be any need to be this. God damn it, I suck at reading out loud. Alcohol? Seriously? Are you sure this is a good idea? Lily smiles politely and giggles. I'm not really convinced that she is. This would be the present from my sister. I know it's a bit questionable, but a little shouldn't hurt. If Lily took serious issue with it, I don't think she'd have agreed quite so easily. That aside, I had Akira squared as the serious and responsible type. Maybe like an older Lily, but it looks like I was wrong. We aren't even legally able to drink yet. Well, in that case, I won't complain. They don't look bad either. I'm no connoisseur, but at least the bottles look nice, apart from a glass of wine or two given from a bother at dinner times. I haven't really had enough to know what's what. God damn, I really do suck at reading out loud. It's totally different to reading in your head. That, and I can't really say that I'm a total straight edge. Going by Hanako's expression, she's thinking the same, and it's her birthday anyway. Shall I open one? Sure, I'll get... My heart skips as I hear 3 sharp bangs coming from Lily's door. Hanako's head flicks around and Lily's eyes close as she listens intently. None of us want to be busted for this. Who is it? Let me in, I'm cold. Lily lets out a resigned sigh before motioning for Hanako to open the door. She gets up and fusses with her gown before moving, apparently still not quite sure of who it is, but trusting enough in Lily to do as she requests. I can just see a blonde, dark-suited figure become visible over Hanako's shoulder as she opens the door. Happy birthday, Hanako. Thank you, Akira. Hanako gives a small bow while twiddling her fingers in front of her. So this is Lily's elusive sister. Akira follows Hanako to the table after shutting the door behind her, giving me plenty of time to have a good look at her. She looks to be about the same height as Hanako, and short blonde hair that's quite roughly cut. That, in addition to her rather modest breasts, masculine suit, and deep voice, gives her quite a androgynous, I think that's what that word is, effect. Without further ado, she plops herself down on the side of the table across from me. It's nice to have your company after all. Akira, did work let you off? Yep, I have to go back there in a bit, but I managed to get enough of a break to drive me down here. So this would be Hisao then. A confident smile gets thrown in my direction, so I nod politely in return. Considering she had just jumped straight to using my first name, that she's much more informal than her appearance would suggest. Quite, if she already knows who I am, that must mean that Lily's talked about me with her, and I wonder what she said. Sorry for not introducing you, Hisao. This is Akira Satao, my older sister. I see. Nice to meet you. The person in question loudly claps her hands together, making Hanako jump a little bit. Akira notices this and uneasily for a fraction of a second before getting back into her stride. Only now do I realize that Akira hasn't paid Hanako's scars any undue attention. Hanako also seems to be comfortable. Why can't I say that right? Whatever. I don't know why I couldn't say that, but apparently I can't. For unknown reasons, I shall continue. Well then, I assume the presents got through. No point in waiting, considering Hisao and the birthday girl look like they're pretty eager. Lily giggles as I awkwardly turn away, a little embarrassed by the fact that I couldn't hide my interest. Hanako's eyes are telling me that she wanted to try the wine together with me, so I settle for a look of badly feigned indifference. Akira manages to uncork the first bottle with a little effort, and Hanako goes to get some glasses before I get to pour the 4 of them full of white wine. I heard somewhere the white wine was less alcoholic than red, so I think it would be the best place to start. Here's to Hanako and Lily's trip. Cheers. Cheers. After the traditionally raising of the glasses, we all take sips of the pale yellow liquid. It's nothing like the stuff I've had with my parents, with the fruitiness of the flavor almost entirely hiding the taste of alcohol. Maybe this is what proper wine is supposed to taste like. Then again, it's possibly that Akira had just chose a wine which would be best suited to our tastes, since none of us are used to alcohol yet, or at least I hope none of us are. This isn't too bad. I was expecting something harsher. If you hadn't liked it, I have a few other variants you could have chosen from. You sound like you know your stuff when it comes to wines. Only a bit. I'm more of a beer kind of person. I I have the drinking side down pat, though. What? I have the drinking side down pat, though. Okay. As if to prove her point, she refills her glass before bringing it to her lips and flicking her head back. Hanako and I silently watch as the whole glassful disappears down Akira's throat. I can't decide whether to be impressed or put off, but I certainly don't have any urge to imitate this act. Lily grimaces slightly at her sister's boast, but I note that she is sipping from her glass as she does so, though. Anyway, now that Akira's gift has been opened and sampled, shall we move on to ours? Gifts? That's right. We got you presents. It's your birthday, after all. This is from me. Lily pulls out the carefully wrapped doll from under the table and passes it to Hanako. Hanako handles the present as if it was glassware, carefully turning it over and removing the tape that binds the wrapping. Eventually, the paper falls from the doll, revealing the emerald green of the doll's dress. It's beautiful. I'm not sure what reaction I was expecting from Hanako. The near total lack of dolls in her room made me think that she didn't care about them, but the look in her eyes is now something different. She turns the doll around with the same delicacy she offered the wrapping, as if she was expecting it to fall apart in her hands. I'm glad you like it. Hisao picked it out, to be honest. Hanako quickly remembers that she is not alone in the room and shifts her focus from the doll. Yes, I like it. Thank you, Lily and Hisao. Actually, I got you something else. I reach into my bag and remove the wrapped chess set. Here, happy birthday. Hanako carefully sits Lily's doll next to her and opens her present with the same care that she showed Lily's. Before long, the checkered squares of the chessboard are visible, and Hanako gently runs her fingers across the carved surface. Oh. Almost by accident, she triggers the latch to the lid, startling herself in the process. She opens it and reveals one of the grey pieces. She seems as absorbed in the chess pieces as she was in the doll before. They're coral, natural coral, undyed, or so I'm told. Thank you, Hisao. No problem, it's your birthday after all. That's right, my birthday. Once again, Hanako's reaction seems a little off, but she carefully closes the board lid. I notice Akira's smile beginning to look very strained. I wonder if she knows anything about what happened in class, given that she seemed to be treading on eggshells around Hanako. I'll have to play you again sometime. I'll make sure I'll play you first. She holds the doll she received from Lily and holds it in her chest together with the small chessboard, putting it to pieces on top. The same act seems to settle her down somewhat, and we all sit in silence for a while. I think it's one of the few times I've seen her genuinely happy, cradling the friendship of the two in her chest as tightly as she can. Thank you, Lily. Thank you, Hisao. In the process of thanking us, Hanako drops the chess pieces and fumbles a bit in a rush to retrieve it. Once she finds it, Hanako puts the chest down and nervously gulps at her wine, as if the real world suddenly rushed back into her consciousness and her fastness escaped from it in a glass. Easy there, you shouldn't drink it that fast. It is a party, Hisao. Despite saying this, there is a slight concerned edge in her voice. Eventually, Lily proceeds to follow Hanako's lead, though not as eagerly. She looks to be taking small sips from her glass and letting the wine settle on her tongue before swallowing it. I decide that is possibly the best approach and do the same myself. Since this is a kind of going away party for you as well, I hope you enjoy your trip at least a little. Lily, hopefully your aunt will be okay. I hope your aunt is okay too, Lily. Lily and I are slightly taken back by Hanako's fair to wish Lily well. Despite her own familiar situation, I'm a little impressed. My, thank you both. I'll be sure to convey your thoughts to my family when I meet them. It'll be fine in the end, Lily, don't worry about it. Since the room's mood has become noticeably more sullen, I decide to try and move things along. Well then, shall we start on the cake? My tentative suggestion has the intended effect, everyone lighting up considerably. Yes, please. Cake? I didn't know there was cake. I picked one up before I came, along with some snacks. Well done, Hisao. At least one of us remembered to bring one. Everyone seems to welcome the distraction, so I retrieve the cake from my bag, start cutting it up. Mixing wine and chocolate cake isn't something that I thought would work well, but none of us seem to mind. Conversation is temporarily suspended as we start to eat. I was initially wary of the idea. After Haneko's panic attack, I expected the worst from tonight, but I think Lily's idea of giving her good memories of her birthday is working. That, and also having it shared with her going-away party. From Haneko's reaction to her gifts, I can tell she was really appreciative. Haneko tries to pour herself another glass of wine, but ends up spilling some on the table. She's had a couple by now, so considering that she's never had alcohol before, it's no wonder if she's feeling a bit lightheaded. Sorry, Lily, I didn't mean to make a mess. Don't worry, I got it. Lily reaches sideways and gently puts the fusing Hanako in her arms, giving me pause. It's okay, Hanako. I'm just happy you're here. Hanako gives only a faint nod in response. It's fitting, I suppose, that Lily would be the one to support her like this. I have no idea what Hanako would do if she hadn't. Seeing the two like this makes me appreciative of the fact that I'm privy to such an intimate moment. Even Akira can't help but smile at the sight. I would have thought I'd managed to find new friends so quickly, and I'm all the more thankful that, of all people, these two I have befriended. They slowly break off from one another, Hanako regaining herself somewhat, while I quickly get myself back on task. I find a towel among Lily's tea set and start mopping up the spillage. By the time I finish, however, Hanako and Lily have managed to uncork another bottle and have topped off their glasses. Looks like you're enjoying the wine. Then just don't go too crazy with it after this, mind. You with all dutifully nod and agree, but her reminder feels a bit silly given that she's the one supplying the underage people with alcohol. The second glass of wine goes down a lot quicker than the first, and before any of us notice, the second bottle is empty. While Akira is helping us finish them off, Hanako looks to be almost equaling her in the amount she's had. My head feels a little light, but I think I've managed to gauge my own tolerance surprisingly well. Hanako smiles lazily, toying with her doll's hair. I think it's a pretty safe bet that she hadn't moderate. Bleh. I don't think it was Haneko's intention to get this drunk, but it seems that the alcohol hit her all at once. She has a very light frame, something which wouldn't help her handle her booze very well. Lily curdles her glass, running a finger along the rim. Her cheeks are rosy, but she manages to avoid looking woefully drunk. Akira is, as I somewhat expected, largely unaffected. Her smile might be a little wider than before, though, maybe. Hanako suddenly hiccups, and I accidentally knock over the doll. I think I should maybe go to bed. Thank you, Hisao. Thanks, Lily. Akira. She slurs Akira's name pretty hard, barely avoiding breaking out into a giggle midway, though she's completely plastered and I can't decide whether I should feel a little bad or not for being amused at the state she's in. It is really bizarre to see her acting so carefree. A shame that it's only with the help of alcohol. Here, let me give you a hand. Akira begins to get up to help Hanako out, but she's stopped by Lily giving a sharp cough. Hisao, would you please? Akira looks a little surprised, and I have to admit that I am as well. I don't mind the request at all, let alone when it's said with such a smile. It comes across rather unexpectedly. I'm sure, no problem. I pick up the chess set and help Hanako stand up. I do feel somewhat responsible for her, considering that, other than Akira, I'm probably the most sober person in the room. And she nurses the doll in the other hand and offers me the other. We stumble out of the door and into the hallway and in Hanako's room. Hanako bumping into me a number of times along the way. Inside the room, I flick on the light as Hanako turns her attention towards a shelf on her dresser. An elegant doll is sitting on it, staring into the bare room. There you go. You'll be safe in here. Hanako gingerly places the doll next to the other one and straightens its dress. They sit in silence, hair and clothes perfectly arranged, just like the teapot in Lily's room. They serve as a distant contrast to the dull whites and greys that permeate her bedroom. Satisfied her dolls, her only two real possessions, is safe, Hanako takes a step back and stands up. Staggering severely, I step forward to catch her if need be, but she regains her balance without any help. For a while, both of us stand in silence as Hanako looks downward towards the cardboard. After a minute or two, she begins to sway a little from side to side. It's very off-putting. Are you going to be alright? Hanako raises her head and turns to me as if she's only just remembering that I'm also in the room. What's unexpected is that she takes 2 steps towards me and wraps her hands around my body. Her head coming to rest in my against my chest. I can feel my heart beating as all of my senses feel like they're coming alive again. After their deadening, though the previously drunk. Whatever. The smell of wine on her breath, the feeling of her fingers through my clothing, the scent of her hair underneath my chin. My hands remain out in front of me, not daring to touch her. The temptation is there to hug her, to embrace her, to tell her everything will be fine. But this feels wrong. Really, really wrong. Hanako. But I want you to stay with you and Lily. Damn it, said it wrong. Hanako's slurring reminds me a bit of Misha, but probably wouldn't be pleased to hear that. You know I can't. You're a girl, I'm a guy, after all, and Lily needs to sleep. She gives me a disappointed groan. It's so strange for her to act so forward. Don't worry, I'll see you again tomorrow, okay? I decide to rest my hand on her head to reassure her, deciding that this is as far as I'll allow myself to go in terms of physical contact with her while she's in this state. Hanako's head nuzzles again. It makes me feel all the more uneasy with the situation, and as her arms tighten around my back, I quickly decide to bail out. I rest my hands on her shoulders and give her a firm but gentle push. Her grip tightens a little as I do, but she eventually breaks off. I don't want you to go. Hanako, please. Akira and Lily are going to start thinking weird stuff if I take too long here. It's perfectly true, too. I really don't want to take any chances, and I feel very uncomfortable right now. I shouldn't try to read anything into the way she's acting right now, and I read that aside from alcohol-lowering inhibitions, people can react to getting drunk in many different ways. That doesn't necessarily reflect reality. And even without that, there are plenty of ways to interpret what she's saying. As long as she's safe, I'm going to try and get out of her room as soon as possible. Hanako hiccups again, looking a right mess as she stands and looks downcast in the center of the room. Her personality changes as she drunk more and more. Now, all alone in a room with me, her previous brightness seems to have left her. Was she just acting upbeat to make sure we didn't worry? Even if she was, what could I possibly do for her, since I did exactly the same thing in regards to my own condition? Distancing myself from my thoughts, I eventually managed to corral Hanako towards her bed, though her attempts to tame the wild sheets on it end up accomplishing little. Sorry about tonight, Hanako. I know you probably won't remember any of this, but happy birthday. I'm sorry I couldn't do more for you. She looks up at me for a moment. I have no idea if what I said actually got through to her, but any chance to ask is lost as her eyes peacefully close. I sigh in relief, before quickly breaking off from her and leaving the room, flickering the light switch off as I go. I hesitate a little before opening the door to Lily's room again, quickly what I should say if I get questions about Hanako. After a few seconds, I still can't get up come up with anything. I open the door and make sure to close it behind me, lest any passing students catch a glimpse of the wines before I turn my attention to the girls on the low table. Akira is curiously smiling, as is Lily. I welcome the change from the mood in Hanako's room. Is that you, Hisao? Yeah, I got Hanako in bed. She's sleeping now. That's good. I have to admit, I hadn't thought that she'd drink quite so much. Hey, it's fine. She's all safe and tucked up in bed now, with the way she is. She awkwardly trails off, though Lily and I would hardly protest. For someone so anxious and fearful, drinking would give an easy out for those constant feelings. I wish I could do more for her. I feel useless. Looking at Lily, I think back to what I asked myself in town. My relationship with is that of a friend, and has only ever felt that way, but now I think I know why. Lily's been there for both Hanako and me since I first met her, and she's like that for everyone, trying to do her best to make them feel better. With that in mind, then what's the bond between me and Hanako? After rescuing our relationship from the following panic attack I inadvertently triggered during class, I feel like we're back to being friends, but she's on my mind more and more. I can't say I view any other girl in quite the same way, but maybe it's just a normal reaction to someone acting like this. Say Akira. She frowns before looking at me. It is getting pretty late. You know what happened with Hanako, don't you? Yeah, Lily told me. I negotiated pretty hard to break so I could come down and help make her birthday a bit brighter. We all get along pretty well. I'm surprised to hear that from someone as extravagant as her, but if Hanako came to know her through Lily, maybe she had time to get used to Akira. And on that note, I'd better get going. I'm already going to be late as it is. But it's already so late. Sorry, we got a bunch of work dropped on us, so overtime it is. She levers herself up from the grunt and heads past me towards the door. Just before she leaves, she turns back towards us. You haven't forgotten about the time for the flight and all the rest. Don't worry, I have everything ready. It's just a matter of packing when it gets close to the time to leave. There we go. I'll see you guys later then. And with that, she disappears through the door with her head held high in farewell. Your sister is something alright. I probably should have thought that comment through before saying it. Regardless, Lily seems quite amused at my appraisal. You okay after all that drinking? Not wasted and just hiding it well? I assure you, I'm quite alright. I can moderate myself. You seem quite self-possessed as well, if I do say myself. Yeah, well, I guess your moderation applies to me as well. With a little hesitation, I take a seat at the table in front of Lily. I wanted to address this directly, if for no other reason than to settle my own thoughts. I've been meaning to ask you. It took me a while to make up my mind. Do you have any idea about what triggered the panic attack? I gathered it had something to do with her birthday, and I don't know anything else. Even Akira was being very careful around her, so I assume she knows as well. Lily's smile drops. The something from her birthday party now well and truly over. To be honest, I'm not sure of all of the details myself. Hanako told you that she was in a house fire. She told me as much after we met and spent a lot of time together. Other than that, she quite simply never told me. She never told you? Assuming the worst, what does she have to look back upon? A life of isolation and possibly even the death of her own family? Maybe going as far as blaming her existence for their deaths. Even thinking about what little I know of Hanako's past is bleak. I have lived through all that, and to live on those memories would be indefinitely worse. Lily looks similarly depressed, but I can't see her rebuilding at least some of her composure before my eyes. I get the feeling that both of us are talking more frankly than we might otherwise do thanks to the wine, but it feels like they're just talking this out is a good thing anyway. I feel kind of helpless about it when it's put like that. What can I possibly do for her? I'm not wholly sure I should tell you this, but Hanako told me that you visited her the day before we both went to check on her. I must admit that I did not predict she would take such a step so quickly after what happened, nor did I expect you to. I think it was a nice gesture on your part. It wasn't much, really. At times like this, I sometimes think it would be better if we never had to leave Yamako, or at least this town. Things are so much easier without others around. I didn't expect Lily to look quite so troubled at what I say, and for a while she looks lost in thought. She moves to speak, but stops herself as she does, and rethinks it a bit I think. Tell me, do you have any plans for Friday evening? Friday evening? No. Isn't your flight to Scotland the next day? I don't think it would be a good idea to tire yourself out before you even get there. It'll be alright, you needn't worry about me. I'd do this tomorrow evening, but I'd imagine Hanako will be feeling rather rough for a while. I thought of how she's going to be tomorrow, makes me grimace. Maybe we should count our blessings that we didn't end up simply throwing up from drinking so much while having such a low tolerance. Well, I'm going to be able to attend whatever you're planning. What is it? Nothing unusual, I assure you, just a little excursion. And you'd better be off this hour. I can't imagine it's long at all until curfew is here. And damn curfew. I'd completely forgotten. I look at the clock next to Lily's bed, and it seems to be some oddity without written numerals. Which I suppose makes sense given Lily's condition. Not wanting to risk a securing patrol giving me a scolding, I'd get up and decide to go to my dorm as she says. Well then, I guess I'll see you and Hanako tomorrow, assuming the both of you manage to get up in the morning. Thank you for your concern, Isao. Until then. Without that, I make my way out of her door and into the hallway. I hope her idea will be a good one. Well, I think should be close to 40 minutes, maybe a bit over. I think I will stop here as the hammering on the door begins. Yeah, alright, I will see you guys next time, and I hope I'm around 40 minutes. See ya. Damn it, stop already.